boy and a girl in the car. And tragically, one of the children, the little boy, it seems, has been killed. Slee, you're joining us again with more news on this. What have you got?
Well, unfortunately, at this point, Sally, all we know is that investigations are underway to establish whether this was a hit, whether this was a hijacking gone wrong, or whether this has anything to do with taxi violence. At this point, the officials on the scene are not able to speak to us on camera. We've been waiting to have one of the police spokespeople at least arrive to be able to establish their voice on the story. But at this point, all we know is that just before 3 p.m. this afternoon, a mother went to pick up her kids just down the road here at the local primary school, and it seems just as she picked them up, gunshots then were heard. And from what we understand from the police is that at least 5 cartridges were found on the scene. It does seem as though that a handgun or a 9mm was used in this case. The majority of the bullet holes are on the driver's side of the vehicle. There is one bullet on the passenger side as well, on the other side of the vehicle. But that vehicle has actually just been collected now, sadly, by what seems like family members. It seems as though the police are done swabbing it and investigating it in particular. And so the family was allowed to take the vehicle home. So it does seem as though the family at this point has officially been informed about the tragic death of the little boy. But what we know is that the mother is in hospital, and her daughter, who was also in the car at this point, was thankfully unscathed from the incident. But it seems as though the mother will be waking up to news that her son, who we believe is around 9 years old, was shot and killed.
Absolutely tragic story, and as you say, we don't know what possible motive there was, whether this was a hit, whether it was a hijacking, or it perhaps linked to taxi violence in the area. Slee, are you able to tell me anything more? And I know it's early days because this incident happened just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. About the area that you're in, is it an area known for hijackings or for taxi violence? And have you had a chance to speak to any people who own businesses or who live in the area?
We have actually tried, Sally, to speak to some of those who are selling food, who were waiting for taxis in the area to see if they, noticed or heard anything. It's either people are too scared or they just weren't here when it happened, because many of them are saying that they did notice that the vehicle did stop at this particular intersection here on the R101, just adjacent to the Turkish mosque, and it's quite a distance from the school itself, where she had picked up her children. And also just next to the school, Sally, is a taxi rank. So that's why there are suspicions that it could be linked to that perhaps. And, maybe they were just, maybe this woman and her children were caught in the crossfire. But at this point, police are just trying to gather as much information as they can. And in particular, this area is known for a lot of criminal activity and hijackings as well. But what's peculiar is that many of the bullet holes are on the driver's side. So that is why I think suspicions are leading towards a possible hit. But of course, at this point, that has not been established.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Silindelo Masikane, for that update. The tragic news that a 9-year-old boy has been shot and killed. His mother had just picked him up from school, we understand, when she came under fire. Not sure of the motive, but the mother is in hospital this evening, and the girl, who we understand is a little bit older, possibly around 13, she managed to escape. Police are on site. It seems the family has been informed. We'll keep you updated on that story as we get more information.